Imagine two bees leaving the hive on the exact same morning. Both bees fly across the same fields. Both visit the same flowers. Both work just as hard. After hours of flying, each bee returns to the hive with the exact same reward: 10 tiny drops of honey. Not much, just 10 drops. But fast forward 10 years into the future. One of those bees is still flying every single day just to survive, still chasing flowers, still living drop to drop. But the other bee, that bee owns one of the largest honey reserves in the entire hive. Thousands of bees depend on his honey during winter. His honey helps expand the hive. His honey funds new nectar expeditions. And it all started with the same 10 drops.
So what changed? Was he stronger? Smarter? Luckier? No. The difference came down to a single habit, a small decision he made with those first 10 drops of honey. And that bee was Benny the Smart Bee. Today, we're going to follow Benny's journey from 10 tiny drops of honey to an entire honey empire. And by the end of this story, you'll understand one of the most powerful money principles in the world.
The hive was a city of motion. Thousands of bees moved through its golden tunnels every second. Some bees cleaned the hive, some protected the entrance, but the most important bees were the worker bees. Every morning they flew out into the world searching for nectar, because nectar meant honey, and honey meant survival. Among those thousands of bees was a small worker bee named Benny. Benny looked like every other bee. Same wings, same stripes, same job. But Benny had one unusual habit. He paid attention. While other bees rushed toward the closest flowers, Benny observed. He noticed which flowers produced the sweetest nectar. He noticed which fields lasted longer. And he always wondered about something deeper. Is collecting honey the only way bees survive? Or is there a smarter way?
One warm spring morning, Benny flew farther than usual. He crossed a small hill. Beyond the hill was a massive field of wildflowers. The colors stretched across the horizon: red, yellow, purple. The air smelled sweet with nectar. Benny spent the entire day working that field, flower after flower, drop after drop. And by sunset, Benny returned to the hive carrying exactly 10 drops of honey.
It was a normal day's work, nothing special. Most bees would celebrate a good harvest like this. They would rest, eat most of the honey, and enjoy the evening. But that night, Benny noticed something interesting. Inside the hive were enormous storage chambers, walls of golden honey built by generations of bees. And Benny wondered, how did these chambers get so full? Surely they didn't start this way. Someone had to begin with just a few drops. As Benny watched the hive more carefully, he noticed something important. There were two types of bees living there. The first group were the spender bees. Whenever they collected honey, they enjoyed it immediately. Life was short. Flowers were everywhere. Why not enjoy the reward today? To them, saving honey felt unnecessary. The second group were the builder bees. These bees lived differently. They didn't eat all the honey they collected. They stored a portion of it inside the hive, slowly adding to the hive's reserves, not for today, but for tomorrow. And Benny started to realize something powerful. The strongest hives weren't built by bees who collected the most honey. They were built by bees who kept some of it.
That night, Benny looked at his 10 drops of honey. He could easily eat all of it. Most bees would. But instead, Benny made a small decision. He kept 2 drops for himself and stored 8 drops in the hive's honey chambers. It seemed tiny, almost meaningless. Some bees even laughed. 8 drops won't change anything. But Benny didn't care, because Benny understood something simple. Great honey reserves don't appear overnight. They grow drop by drop. The next day, Benny collected 10 more drops. Again, he kept 2. Again, he stored 8. The same decision, every day, day after day, week after week, month after month. While other bees celebrated every successful harvest by consuming all their honey, Benny quietly followed the same rule.
Save first, enjoy later. At first, the difference was small. Benny's honey storage grew to 50 drops, then 100, then 300. But something even more powerful was happening, because honey stored in the hive helped support the entire colony. New chambers were built. More bees explored new flower fields. The hive grew stronger, and Benny's stored honey grew along with it. Then, something unexpected happened. One year, winter arrived early, much earlier than the bees expected. The flowers disappeared, cold winds swept across the fields, nectar became almost impossible to find. Suddenly, the hive faced a crisis. Bees who had spent all their honey had no reserves. They had worked hard all year, but now they had nothing stored. Some bees were forced to fly long distances searching for rare winter flowers. Many returned exhausted. Some didn't return at all. But Benny? Benny remained calm, because deep inside the hive, his honey was waiting. Hundreds of drops he had saved during the warm months. Those small daily decisions had created something powerful, security. While other bees panicked, Benny had time to think, and that's when his empire truly began. Instead of simply using his honey to survive the winter, Benny made another smart decision. He used some of his stored honey to help expand the hive. He supported young worker bees learning how to find better nectar routes. He helped build new honey chambers. And because Benny had reserves, he could focus on growth, not just survival. Spring eventually returned. Flowers bloomed again. But now the hive was bigger, stronger, more efficient, and Benny's honey reserves began growing faster than ever. Hundreds of drops turned into thousands. Thousands turned into entire honey chambers. From the outside, it looked like Benny had suddenly become rich. But the truth was much simpler. His empire had been built slowly, one drop at a time. Now here's the important question. Is this story really about bees? Not exactly, because the exact same story happens every day in the human world. People work hard, they earn money, just like bees collect nectar. But many people spend everything they earn. Every paycheck is used immediately. Lifestyle grows, expenses grow, and saving becomes an afterthought. But the people who build real wealth follow Benny's rule. They don't spend everything. They save first. They invest. They allow their money to grow. Over time, something powerful happens. Their money begins producing more money. This is known as compound growth, and it's one of the most powerful forces in finance. Just like stored honey helped Benny's hive grow stronger, invested money helps wealth grow faster over time. Many people believe building wealth requires huge amounts of money, but Benny proved something different. You don't need a mountain of honey to start. You just need the first few drops. Saving a little, investing a little, and repeating that process consistently. Over years, those small drops multiply. That's how honey empires are built. And that's how financial empires are built too. So the next time money comes into your life, ask yourself a simple question. Will you spend it like the spender bees? Or will you follow the path of Benny the smart bee? Because wealth rarely begins with massive fortunes. It begins with tiny decisions, small savings, small investments, repeated over time. And one day, those small drops can turn into something incredible, an empire.
If you want to learn more smart money lessons from the hive, make sure you subscribe to MoneyBee, where the smartest bee in the hive shares the smartest lessons about money. And remember, smart bees don't just collect honey, they make it grow.